Okay, yeah, it's live.
All right, it's Pod 2, Balls to the Wall, with your main boy Alex Murphy here. Sean is not with me at this current moment. He just got off of a plane and is going back to his house. He went on vacation to, I believe, St. Lucia. I think that's how you say it. I don't know, something like that. But for the time being, we have our first guest on the pod. How do I describe this wonderful person? He's a man, lives up in North Jersey, so he suffers being in New Jersey like me, and I had to deal with the Cubs getting swept by the Reds over the weekend, which we'll talk about earlier. But it's What the Sports co-founder and also one of the co-hosts on the Impractical Sports podcast, Ryan Homler. Ryan, how's it going?
It's going good. I appreciate that strong introduction. You basically hit all my traits, so I appreciate that. And I'm excited to talk some baseball because we don't get to do too much of it on our normal podcast because of our other co-host Kevin and his lack of baseball knowledge. So,
well, yeah, that's true. It's because it's Kevin. What do you expect?
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt and try to beef up your resume for the folks listening.
Thank you.
All right. So since you're our first guest, I think that the people would like to know more about you, other than the fact that you like the Cubs, which is, I mean, I guess we can talk about that more. But just try to give as short or as long of a bio about yourself as you feel is necessary.
Yeah. So I'll stick to, I guess, more sports in my bio. Like Alex said, I'm from North Jersey, but I do not like any New York teams. I more despise New York teams than anything else. I'm sure we'll get into that. My dad was born and raised in Chicago, born and raised a Chicago sports fan. I didn't really have a choice, and I'm happy it turned out that way. So I have been a diehard Cubs fan for my entire life. I do like the other sports teams as well, mainly the Bears. I'll kind of follow the Bulls and Blackhawks, but not really. And overall, I'm just a big baseball fan. That's my favorite sport. I'll pay attention to all sports. I do a lot of the tweeting for What the Sports, so I got a well-versed mind there. I love making memes, so I'm excited to do some relaxed baseball talk and kind of get into some analysis, but also some jokes and stuff.
I like that. Memes are A1.
Yep.
A1 memes. There was just a really nice play. I'm watching the Phillies Nationals game right now. It's Thursday when we're recording this, and there was a nice play up the middle by I forget who the second baseman is, but it seemed like a good play. If they could show it again, they would, but it's going to replay review right now, so I wonder how that's going to turn out. But on that note, well, first of all, to recap, I already talked a little bit about Ryan's weekend, unfortunately for him, which I know that we'll again get into. But my weekend was pretty damn good. I got to see the Rays sweep the Yankees at home. I not in person because I didn't buy a ticket to go down to St. Pete, but that's beside the point. I wish I could have. But yeah, they swept them down at St. Pete. Jake Bauers hit a walk-off home run in the 12th inning. The Sunday matinee game. So I was getting really happy. I was really hype. I was screaming and yelling when I saw it on my TV about 4 minutes after it actually happened because the game wasn't actually broadcast live. And then I've been trolling Yankees fans on Twitter for the past week, so I think I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm happy for the Rays and for you. Like I said, I hate the Yankees just as much as anyone else. So it was good to see them suffer and lose 3 straight games, especially like you said. We'll get to it. The Cubs had a rough weekend, so the Yankees getting swept definitely like made up for some of the pain I was feeling.
Yeah, well, why don't we get into more of that as we go into our Around the League segment? I'm going to talk a little bit about this with Sean as well. But Ryan, why don't you recap what happened with the Cubs in Cincinnati?
Yeah, really just a worst case scenario situation for the Cubs. They went into that weekend series basically pretty hot. Took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, who were one of the hotter teams in the NL. after they won that third game against the Dodgers, I mean, people were ready to proclaim the Cubs the best team in the NL. Like they were like the NL's running through Chicago. This team is clicking on all cylinders, and there's a lot of injuries. And I was like, perfect. Now we get to go play the Cincinnati Reds, who the Cubs have just absolutely dominated for the last 4 years. I don't think they ever lose, especially in Cincinnati. They love playing there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a mess of a series. Matt Harvey shut down the Cubs Thursday night. They blew a bunch of leads. They gave up grand slams to pitchers, pinch hit home runs, walked in runs. Yeah, I mean, on Sunday, they were up 6-1 and lost 8-6. So it was just like a catastrophic weekend series for them. And I wrote about it in a blog. The Cubs are really my one source of happiness at this point in my life. So it's just like an absolutely devastating weekend. I was dead inside for the entire weekend.
I can imagine. I also wrote a blog right after Ryan about how the Rays won, and it's kind of funny to see the contrast between the two, especially because I found a clip. I don't know when it happened, but David Ortiz saying the Yankees lose on like Fox Sports MLB coverage, which is probably the greatest like 4 or 5 seconds of video I will ever have for the rest of my life, just to like spam Yankees fans with. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Jared Carrabis, who's like the Red Sox guy for Barstool, he will tweet that video out every time the Yankees lose. It's very
so
funny.
I love that. It's such a great video. It's quality beyond compare. Let me tell you. Were there any? So were there any other games over the weekend mentioned too, or no? Because I really didn't pay attention to anything else.
I'm gonna be honest. No, I do consider myself to like keep up with Major League Baseball, but I knew the Yankees got swept and I knew the Cubs got swept. And there really wasn't much else I was paying attention to. I think the Cardinals and Brewers, I think they split a series, which I was paying attention to because they're the other teams in the NL. But it seemed like not a huge eventful weekend for Major League Baseball, and really what was like the first weekend where it was just them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, living in South Jersey, I did watch the Phillies series, and they won 2 out of 3 in Washington, and then managed to blow a 6-2 lead on Sunday Night Baseball as their bullpen imploded, which was absolutely terrible to see. And then I'll talk about it more with Sean, but then they got absolutely shafted at Citizens Bank Park against the Yankees and lost 2 out of 3. So that didn't help, but I think they're playing decent. They're 6 games over, still in the race for the NL East because somehow the Braves are still leading the NL East after how many months has it been? Like 2.5, 3 months, which is incredible beyond compare.
It's ridiculous. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year that the Braves would maybe go into the All-Star break with not only leading the division, but maybe with like 3 All-Star starters, it's just something I would have been like, you're absolutely insane.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, to try to split up, because I'm going to try to split up the topics that we have. So I think that because me and Sean did it last week, I think that we should have a little Midsummer Mania here and talk about the latest All-Star game voting standings. So I'm going to take the NL, and Ryan, I'm going to take the AL. Ryan, you can take the NL. So let me go take a quick look. Our game voting leaders. I know one off the top of my head, which hasn't changed at all. Here, right, final MLB. Okay, here. I think I almost have it up.
Okay, yeah, that's fine actually, because we're not really doing anything right now. That lagged, but it doesn't really matter because we weren't really saying much.
Okay, so we're just gonna take this as time to cut out the audio.
Yeah, you'll just cut this out anyway. So just like start it however you want to start it.
Okay. Oh my God, why is there a Geico? Oh, it's an Allstate commercial actually. I went on to CBS Sports and then an Allstate commercial came on.
Yeah, I'm also.
You're also on CBS Sports?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're starting out in the AL. I have the current AL leader at first base, holding strong is Jose Abreu from the White Sox. Have any opinions about him? I think that he deserves it. I think he's having a decent year.
Yeah, I would think when you look at like the first base in the AL, which is crazy with the first baseman in the NL are incredibly stacked. The first baseman in the AL is pretty weak. Like it's Abreu, and then the rest of the top five: Gurriel, Moreland, who's okay. That's just loaded. He does Cabrera too, so it's a pretty weak position. So I like Abreu there leading, and he's leading by a lot, which is crazy because the White Sox don't have great fans right now.
They are trash, absolute trash in the rebuild. Still haven't figured out how to get out of the rebuild.
Yeah, they really have not.
Yeah. Second base, no surprise here. Jose Altuve is leading by what looks to be 1.7 million votes. That's ridiculous. But also, he's the GOAT, so I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, no, he deserves it. It's ridiculous how many votes he is winning by. That is just
it is pretty crazy.
It does though kill me. Well, first of all, D. Gordon being second base is kind of weird because he really hasn't been there that long to be there. But I guess he's not really an outfielder anymore. Gleyber Torres at 2 definitely is deserving as a rookie, but man, that one kills me because what could have been with the Cubs, but he definitely.
Oh wait, didn't he get traded over?
Yeah, so basically, people always try and come at me saying that it was a bad trade because basically, for those who don't know, it was Torres and I think a pitcher for Chapman for that second half of 2016, and then the Yankees went and got Chapman back. So people are like, well, they fleeced him, but the Cubs got a World Series out of it. So fair trade, if there is one.
No, I agree. I mean, you guys did kind of get screwed out of a decent second baseman, but I mean, you guys have what I would consider a good infield right now. So
yeah, exactly. He wouldn't have anywhere to really play. It'd be a struggle to get them all playing time. So
yeah, agreed. Let's see. Third base, Jose Ramirez is, I think he's got 1.3 million votes. He's leading by around 600 million over Miguel Andujar, also from the Yankees, because apparently the Yankees have absolutely everything.
Yeah. I've always been a big Jose Ramirez guy since I met baseball. I think Jose Ramirez is amazing, and he's probably maybe the most underrated player in baseball because no one talks about him. He's second in the league in home runs. He's a stud, so it's good to see him leading the votes. Yeah,
he's killing it right now. I think he's got 23, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. All right. Oh, Wilmer Difo just hit a ball that went farther than I think I've ever seen him hit a ball. Feet. So good for him. Let's see. Shortstop Manny Machado is leading by how many votes? Less than 200,000 over Carlos Correa. Machado's raking right now with the Orioles, who are basically in the same position as the White Sox, where they're absolutely garbage and they really have no, as of right now, have no future. The White Sox have a better future than the Orioles, but still they're both playing terrible. But I do think that Machado deserves it.
Yeah, he definitely does. He's having really the best year he could possibly have in his situation as he goes into free agency, and even for the Orioles to make a trade at the deadline. His numbers are so good that they're going to get a big package in return, or he's going to make a lot of money in the offseason. So he needed that. The one that bothers me is Didi. He's not going to win, so he's not going to make the roster, but clearly doesn't deserve to be there. He had a hot start. He's been absolute trash ever since. Lindor being there at 4 is ridiculous because he's up there with Machado for possibly the best shortstop in the game right now. So that's pretty crazy.
Lindor. All right. But yeah, I 100% agree with you. I do think that Lindor should get more consideration. I think he should be at least 3, but I mean, you can't really pass up on Carlos Correa, even if he's having, I mean, I don't think he's necessarily having the best offensive year this year, but I mean, he's just all around. He's such a good player.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Designated hitter. No surprise here. JD Martinez has a close to 1 million vote lead over Giancarlo Stanton. JD Martinez is absolutely crushing the baseball. I think he's got 20 he has either 25 or 26 home runs and I think 61 RBIs or something crazy like that.
Mhm.
Absolute tear ever since last year. I think it was going to Arizona helped him out with the fact that they play about 1,000 feet above sea level, so that helps out. But do you have anything on JD?
Yeah, I mean, an absolute stud year. I actually heard that he went to like some weird swing coach in like Florida right before he went to the Diamondbacks and like completely like changed his swing and like obviously it's worked incredibly well. He's a stud and like whenever I always see him doing well, I always think to like what if the Astros had kept him and he was part of that roster too? It'd be absolutely
Oof.
insane.
I do agree that would be insane. Come on, I really would like Reese Hoskins at home run. But that's another story. All right, catcher, best player in baseball, Wilson Ramos from your Tampa Bay Rays has 100,000 vote lead over Gary Sanchez. I 100, 1,000, 1,000,000% agree. Yeah. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think like listen, like attention to baseball that closely, you probably didn't know one, Wilson Ramos was back from his gruesome injury he suffered a couple years ago, and two, that he was on the Rays because I mean it's just a relevant player to a ball club that's not marketed well, but I think he's deserving, and it's good to see like different faces. Like when we get to the NL, we'll talk about all the different teams represented. It's good to see the Rays and like the White Sox and the Orioles still being represented, even when the Yankees, Astros, and Red Sox are dominating the league.
Yeah, and I understand I'm going. If any of you people on YouTube are looking at this, I'm walking upstairs at the moment. So if I understand the comparisons between him and Sanchez, and I do think that Sanchez deserves some consideration. However, Sanchez's average is like 190, and Ramos is batting about 290 and has almost about the same home runs and same RBI. So I think if you're looking at stats specifically like that, I think that Ramos 100% deserves it more.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Yeah. All right, and then outfield, we have Mookie Betts with 2.3 million votes. We have Mike Trout, number 2, who really should be number 1, with 1.9 million. And then rounding it out, Aaron Judge with 1.55 million. And he has about, like a 700,000 vote lead over George Springer, who would be the next closest person. I think all three of them are very deserving, but I do think that Trout should be number 1. I don't really know why he isn't, but
yeah, I would agree. I think as much as it's a fair outfield to have out there. I agree that Trout should be number 1, but I mean we all know he's the best player in baseball, so he doesn't need to be the leading vote getter to make that clear. He's making this roster no matter what, even if Angels players hadn't voted for him. So
true.
I think like out of any of the positions, the AL fans have gotten the outfield correct, which is good to see.
Yeah, I think I saw here there was a stat that said if the standings were to end today, 8 different teams in the American League would be represented. So 8 of the 9 positions would be a different team, which is the most like the most teams that have ever been represented as starters on one team ever, which I think would be awesome.
Yeah, I would agree. Like the idea is to represent like every team if it's good to not like as much as like I love the Cubs and they were all very good that year. It was just kind of weird to see the entire infield be Cubs and the year before the entire infield be Royals when they didn't need to be starters in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have the NL pulled up?
I do, but I don't. Yeah, actually, yes, I do perfectly.
Okay,
cool. So we'll start with catcher because this is the way it has it lined up for me. So right now we got Buster Posey in the lead. I don't have the exact totals, but he is in the lead, and Willson Contreras is really the closest behind him. I'll quickly
Okay.
say I think Posey is the best catcher in the NL by far, and his name alone will get him there every year. Willson Contreras has struggled to an extent, but he will probably still make the roster even if he doesn't win this vote as a backup catcher. The only other one I could really see contending would be Yadi, who hasn't been that great. So I think it's fine that they're 1 and 2 because both are deserving.
All right. Yeah, Buster Posey has consistently been one of the best, if not the best catcher, not only in the National League, but all of baseball. And as much as I loathe him for not only being a giant but also for ruining the home plate collision and the slide to home plate with a throw, bang, bang play, there's nothing really you can do about that. That was eventually going to happen. But I do think that he is deserving of probably getting voted in.
Yeah, I would agree. So we'll move on to first base. Freddie Freeman leads by a ton in this category, and it makes sense. I think he's clearly the choice there. The 2 through 5 is a little skewed. They have Anthony Rizzo at 2. He's been good. I mean, he leads the Cubs in RBIs. He has about 60, but he started off so slow, and the average still isn't there. He's batting 240, so I don't think he deserves to be on the All-Star team, even though he's had a good impact on the Cubs. I would say Brandon Belt at 3 and Joey Votto at 5, who's just incredibly undervalued every year, are deserving players.
Yeah. Here, wait. Which one are you looking at? Because I have the one from the 25th up, and then the one from the 25th has Freeman number 1, Rizzo number 2, Brandon Belt number 3, Cody Bellinger 4, and Jose Martinez 5.
Oh, I guess I'm looking at a little outdated one. If you want to text me that link real quick, I had it all that except Joey Votto was at 5. That was the only thing.
Yeah, Votto and Martinez got flipped.
Okay.
I think Votto deserves a lot more respect.
Wait, your mic sounded really weird.
Wait, my mic sounds weird?
Oh no, now you're good. It was lagging there. That was weird.
Okay. So we're gonna cut this out, right?
Okay. Yeah. So just start by saying your stuff about Votto again. You can just pick it up from there.
Okay. So first off, Freddie Freeman has a ridiculous lead, which is incredible, but he also 100% deserves it. He, in my opinion, right now is probably the front runner for the NL MVP just because of how good of a season that he's having. But I do believe that Joey Votto deserves a lot more consideration for the first baseman position, specifically because of the fact that he's always been consistent at drawing walks. He's been consistent at getting on base. I don't necessarily know if the power numbers are there this year, but I do think that his consistency has kept up, and I think that should be respected more.
Yeah, I agree completely. At second base, this one's tough because Ozzie Albies is still 1, and he got off to such a hot start, and I think he's continued enough to an extent that he deserves to be there. But I mean, 2 and 3 are pretty worthy candidates too. Javier Baez, I don't want to be a homer, but I mean, he's been outstanding this year for someone who doesn't literally walk at all. He's walked like 3 times this entire season. He had that huge game against the Dodgers the other day. He's on fire. He's batting over 280. I think he maybe makes the All-Star team even without this vote. I hope so fun to see him there. But at 3 is another Red who, honestly, I don't know what to think about Scooter Gennett. It kind of blows my mind how good he's been this year, especially with the name Scooter. I'm still a little skeptical of like how good he's gotten, but I mean, we have to admit it's pretty impressive, and he deserves to be an All-Star this year based on how he's played.
He's sneaky good. He's
very sneaky good.
Yeah, he has. Here, let me go try to look up his average on the year. But at one point, he had like a 340 average. He has a 336 average. Wow. His stats right now. Here, let me go look up his stats. So he has, like I said, he has a 336 average. He has 13 home runs, 53 RBIs, and 98 hits.
Mm.
which is really impressive. The average is
Yeah.
the average is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think that Albies. I said this last pod. I don't think that Albies should be number one right now because his average is abysmal and his on base is even worse. I think it's below 300, which
Mm-hmm.
if you're a professional, if you're an MLB player, to have an on base percentage below 300 is really bad.
It's funny. It's funny because Javier Baez is very close to towing that line as well, and they're the two leading vote getters.
Well, I think that Baez has better power stats.
And he just does more on the field too. So
I agree. I think it should be. I think it should be Baez 1, Jeanette 2, and Albies 3.
yeah, I could see that. My hope would be that I mean I don't really care about Albies too much. I would hope that Baez and Jeanette both find themselves on the roster no matter what.
I do agree. I think that they're both very deserving.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll move on. Alex, your boy Evan Longoria, now a Giant, has fell out of the top 5. Sad to see.
I want to talk. Yo, he also broke his hand, so I want
Yeah.
to talk about
Okay.
that. Sad days.
So, again, by almost 700,000 is Nolan Arenado, and I think that's perfect. He deserves to be there. He's maybe the best third baseman in the game. Mm-hmm. At number 2 is some guy who could have given him a run for his money, but he's been hurt, and he was in a pretty big slump recently. Kris Bryant, who is, for as big of a down season as it's been for Kris Bryant, he's still batting about 280 with an on-base percentage close to 400, which is just absolutely insane to have during a down year. Mm-hmm. So I think if it wasn't for the injury, he has a legitimate case to be on the roster, but he's going to miss some time, so it's not really worth it. The other guy on this list who I think deserves to be there is Eugenio Suarez at 4. He's like, the Reds have such good players. I don't understand how they are not good. Like,
oh my God!
Yeah, he is.
You weren't kidding, Jesus Lord.
He leads. I think he leads the NL in RBIs, or he was going into the weekend. He has just been insane. Their infield is absolutely ridiculous, and yet they're still the worst team in baseball somehow.
It's because their pitching's trash.
Yeah, well, not against the Cubs, it wasn't. Let me tell you.
Well, yeah, that's true. I didn't see it. You saw it, so you would know.
Yeah. Do you have any takes on third base? You pretty set with it's Arenado and the rest.
I think Arenado deserves it the most, but I think Suarez should be too. Jesus Lord. He doesn't have the hits, but he's got the home runs, the RBIs, and the average, and the OPS.
Yeah. So
he's killing it.
Strong there, shortstop. It's Brandon Crawford by a ton, and I think I'm looking at this list. I don't know how well Dansby Swanson's been doing this year. I can't imagine it's that great because I haven't heard about him. And then the rest, I don't think any the 2 through 5, Swanson, Addison Russell, who does not, although he's batting close to 290 at this point, doesn't deserve to be there. Trevor Story does not deserve to be there. Trey Turner, not really either. So it's really Brandon Crawford and the rest, which is pretty crazy because we always just thought Brandon Crawford was going to be just really good on defense, and that was it. But he's figured it out, batting 308 this year, and it's kind of crazy how he turned it around, especially because I feel like he's been in the league forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think that he deserves it. He's the most deserving player. I just wanted to say I looked at all of the positions for the NL. For the starting 9, there is a Braves player on each of the top 5, or for the outfield, the top 15. There is a Braves player in each position.
Yeah, I think the same can be said for the Cubs as well. I think they're very heavily represented too. So it's really just all about getting your fans to vote.
Yo, it's that biasy, or it's that what's it called? It's bias. It's a lot of bias.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll feel quickly. I mean, this is crazy. You told me that Nick Markakis and Matt Kemp in 2018 would be the 2 leading vote getters. I would have told you you're the dumbest person on planet Earth, but they're both there, and they're both more than deserving to be there, which is just insane because we all thought they were past their prime. I didn't even think maybe. I thought Nick Markakis was retired, and I thought Matt Kemp was just going to be a crappy utility player. That's crazy. But the guy I really want to talk about with you, Alex, is Bryce Harper at number 3. I know you're not a big Bryce Harper guy.
Despise him.
I will continue to support Bryce. He would love to come to the Cubs in the offseason, would love to have him there. He's there at number 3 strictly because of votes. He's had a very down year, but what I thought was ridiculous, guarantee that he gets in the All-Star game was for him to say, yeah, I'll do the home run derby if you vote me an All-Star, which, like, I got to tip my hat to it. It's a baller move when you know your stats aren't there. So you kind of just got to, prove how to get you in it.
Yeah. I mean, it's petty. To say the least, it's petty. But it's Bryce Harper, so I expect nothing less. That shows you how much respect I have for him. I won't say any swear words. I'll just throw some slights at him.
Yeah.
But yeah. I do want to say Matt Kemp has had a much better year than I thought that he did. He's playing really well, and he shed some pounds in the offseason.
Yep.
So he's slimmer, and he's playing a much better outfield than he has before. Nick Markakis, I have a very much of a love. See, I want to say it's a love-hate relationship, but it's really not, because it's more of just like straight up love. Because I loved him when he was on the when he was on the Orioles, and I was waiting for him to have more of a breakout year, because he had a breakout year like his second year with the Orioles, but he really hasn't had one since. And I feel like this is one of those years where he may not put up the power numbers in terms of home runs, but the hits are there, the RBIs are there, the average is there. The OPS really isn't there because he doesn't have a high slugging, but the on base is there for sure. And again, he almost broke my hand with a foul ball, so I'm like indebted to him.
Anyone who almost does that deserves an All-Star vote, in my opinion. So good to see him there. So that's I do the All-Stars. Yeah,
I do want to. I need to do a campaign for Odubel Herrera, because he deserves way more than 14th place. That's complete garbage. He is having he had a down May, but he's really picked it up in June, and he plays a ridiculous center field.
He does. He does some wild stuff. I mean, his batting stance to start is just, like, absolutely. I don't know if him or you just need to call out your fellow Philadelphians to just step up their voting game. It's weak that maybe their best player isn't even cracking the top 10 in his category.
Oh yeah, no, it is weak. They need first off, they need to get out to the ballpark and go to games, because no one's going to games and the team's 6 games above 500. So I don't know what they're doing. And second of all, Herrera should at least be in the top 10.
Yeah, I would agree with both. It's crazy. It's crazy that the Phillies are in the heat of things and you can't sell out a stadium. It's weird, especially because Philly sports fans.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Philly sports fans. I feel like they're waiting for the Phillies to. So, like, if the Phillies have a decent year this year, I feel like they're going to show up next year. But they're waiting for them to be really, really good. So I feel like if they're going to show up, they're going to start showing up after the All-Star break. That's just me.
Yeah.
But so we just finished that segment. And now, so we're going to split up quick pitch this time. So me and Ryan are going to do the first 7 questions, and then me and Sean are going to do the rest of it. So let's try to get this pretty quickly, or done pretty quickly. So first thing I have for you, the Rays, not including tonight, or I guess going into the game tonight, are on a 5-game winning streak. They swept the Yankees at home, and then they swept the Nationals in a brief 2-game mini series, which concluded in Sergio Romo having some choice words for Michael Taylor, which, that's just the fighting matchup we've been waiting for: Sergio Romo versus Michael Taylor. But that's another story. Yeah. Do you think that the Rays are the most fun, most exciting team to watch in baseball right now, even though they're one game below 500?
It's tough for me to say because I'll be honest, like I haven't seen enough of them to know for sure. I think it's exciting that they have a lot of young talent and that they're kind of clicking on all cylinders and beating these best teams. So I think the recent streak they've been on makes them exciting to watch. I can't say if they're the most exciting team in baseball to watch right now because I don't think enough people are willing to watch them, which is a big part of it.
Nope, not at all. I think that they're the most exciting team because I've been watching them and watching Jake Bauers and Willy Adames, who finally have had the chance to play on the get promoted up to the major leagues. It's just so fun to watch them, and they're actually attempting to bring up their youth, which I think is great. But yeah, I'm very hopeful for them, even if they don't finish in the playoff race at all. If they kind of just hover around 500 for the rest of the year, I'm hopeful for the future because if they're going to keep trying to bring up their youth and keep trying to bring up prospects, I think that that's helpful for the team if they're trying to get a new stadium and get fans back.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think there's any point like the Rays are doing what the White Sox should be doing to an extent. Like the White Sox are really bad, and I know you don't want to like bring up your talent too soon and maybe risk like burning them out in the first and what you got and try and use this young talent when you have it, and there's no point in wasting it in the minors when it's not like your every game is life or death for your team. It's a tryout. So the Rays are doing the right things to get back to where they were like a decade ago at this point, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, more impressive sweep last weekend: Rays sweeping the Yankees or Reds sweeping the Cubs?
I think we're both gonna have biased answers on this one because I'm gonna go with the Reds just because the Cubs have absolutely dominated them in that division ever since Aroldis Chapman threw at Anthony Rizzo in 2012 and Anthony Rizzo stormed on the field. From that moment on, like the Cubs have just babied the Reds nonstop. So pretty crazy for the lack of pitching the Reds had, like you said, and the way they did it. The Cubs led 3 out of those 4 games late in the game, and the Reds still won. So that was something I didn't think I would see this season is a Red sweep of the Cubs. So it was crazy impressive to me.
Yeah, I'm actually going to shock you. I actually think that the Reds had a more impressive sweep just because of the fact that I looked it up online. And I'm going to tell this to Sean, just rub it in his face. The Yankees since 2010 are 32-45 at Tropicana Field.
Wow.
So
then the Rays can't get rid of the field then because it's too good of luck.
I mean, I want them to get rid of it, but still. I mean, they've been dominant at home, which is crazy to think about. They've been dominant at home against the Yankees. But no, I actually think that the Reds was a more impressive sweep just because of the fact that the Reds are going in one direction. The Reds are trending downward for the most part, and the Cubs are trending upward. And to see the Reds not only sweep the series at home, but sweep a 4-game series, which is obviously a lot tougher than a 3-game series because you have another game. With the pitching that they have, it's pretty crazy. Like I was legitimately shocked to see that the Reds swept the Cubs because I think that the Cubs should have salvaged at least 1 game.
Tell me about it.
I know you have some. You're a little bit salty about that.
Yeah, I'm okay now because they split 2-2 with the Dodgers in LA, which is a good salvage. So
yeah, that's good.
I'm back on the mend.
That's good. All right. Next question. Better rookie duo for the future: Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuna Jr. or Jake Bauers and Willy Adames?
We're really killing it with the Rays questions here.
Well, I mean, I gotta have my chance.
Yeah, and they are hot in the streets, but I'm gonna go with Albies and Acuna. I think Albies has already shown his potential. Like we said, he needs to make like a Javi Baez like transition where if he's not gonna get on base all the time, he has to do the power and he has to have the glove and he has to do other things for the Braves. But he definitely has potential. And then Acuna, I mean, he came in so hot and he slowed down to an extent a little, but I mean, the ceiling is insane for that guy. I mean, he hits just absolute missiles. Like
that is true.
Like exit velocity of like 150 off the bat. So, I mean, the two of them together is exciting for the Braves because they're a power duo. But I would say maybe if I saw these Rays players a little more, my opinion would change. I just don't know enough about the boys at this point.
No, I got you. Ronald Acuna Jr.'s velo is off the charts.
Yes.
But okay, this is actually my last Rays question of Quick Pitch. But I do think, I mean, I'm gonna be biased here, but I'm gonna make a very convincing case for them because I love Jake Bauers and Willy Adames, and they've been down in AAA, down in Durham for a little bit, and I've been waiting for them to come up. And while they had somewhat of a slow start, I think that, Bauers, I mean, he's a first baseman, so defense for a first baseman, defense isn't necessarily the most important thing. But Adames' defense I think he can switch between a shortstop and a second baseman, but his defense is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch. And both of them, just watching them play, they look like they're having so much fun. I mean, that team just looks so fun right now, and that's the reason. I mean, I don't necessarily know if they're going to be the better duo in the future, but I think that right now, I think that Adames and Bauers will have a better, more impactful presence on the Rays than Acuna and Albies have, just because of the fact that both of them have cooled off since starting out hot. And I mean, right now it's Markakis and Freeman that are really carrying the load in terms of the offense for the Braves.
Yeah, I would agree in a large sample size. Like you said, I mean, the Braves roster is a little more talented, which takes some of the pressure off them. Whereas the Rays, Bauers, they have to do everything. So they could, this year at least, be the better duo when it comes to the end of 2018.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, done with the Rays questions, so I'm not overloading on them, Ryan. So next question is going to be about your boy Javi. So Javi Baez is putting together what I would consider pretty impressive offensive season. Do you think that he is going to finish the season as the best all-around shortstop in baseball based simply on statistics?
It's tough, one, because right now I think we have to. I think he's still considered a second baseman because Addison Russell gets a lot of the play.
Oh yeah, crap! Why the hell did I call him a shortstop? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Second baseman. Cut the tape. Second baseman.
Yeah, that didn't happen. As much as I love Javi, he might be my favorite Cub at this point, besides maybe Albert Almora Jr. But yeah. Look that guy up, listeners, if you don't know much about him. Very underrated player.
Deep cut.
But Javi, he's really good, but the problem is he's streaky. So he got off to this insane start, batting .330. And then he struggled for a while, dropping down to like .250. And then, he's hot again right now, back up to .280. But I haven't seen enough yet to see him do that consistently for a whole season, which leads me to believe like at some point he's going to hit a drop off. And I think he'll be able to bring it back up to an extent, but I don't think he'll be statistically the best second baseman. But based on like the way he plays, like John Lester said the other day, he's the best player he's ever watched. And that's crazy because John Lester's seen a lot of baseball. So I think this has been a statement year for Javi. So I'm excited to see what comes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that he's going to be close to, if not at the top of most of the statistical categories for second baseman, not shortstop, because apparently I don't know positions in baseball, even though I've been watching it for 19 years. Okay, next question. I really hope that you heard about this. A report came out that there was a dead body that was found in apparently like the beer cooler down below SunTrust Park.
Wait, so
Right?
start that over because you lagged a little.
Okay, so a report came out. I don't know if you heard about a dead body that was found in the beer cooler
Hmm.
below the stands at SunTrust Park where the Braves play.
Right.
So first of all, do you have any uh, not predictions but hypotheses as to how it got there? And do you think that the freeze has anything to do with this?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we gotta we gotta be a little cautious what we say because it's a weird situation. Obviously, we care about the families involved, but in a freezer below at Brave Stadium, you have to wonder if Mister Freeze was involved in this. Like, didn't he lose? Did he lose one time?
I think he may have. No, he's lost a couple times.
Interesting. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if he got a little angry, but just an absolutely insane headline to come out. Like the like the Braves had all the right reasons to start the season, and that is not one of the headlines you want to be making coming July.
No, agreed. Definitely agreed. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was a weird thing to see, but I kind of want to see what's gonna come. What's going to become of it of the story? I really hope it continues because it was just such a random weird story to find. But I
Yeah.
mean, such is life. So next question. I'm a little bit biased about this, but do you think that for the All-Star Game ballots, do you think that they should bring back paper balloting and have that with online voting, or do you just like the online voting? And do you think, or just in general, do you
Honest,
think that?
oh no, go ahead, finish.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so I'll start it again. All right.
Yeah.
So with the All-Star Game ballots, do you think that they should bring back paper ballots with a mixture of online voting, or have specific or online voting specifically? And then there's two more parts to this. So the second part is, does the voting mean much to you? And the last part is, if you could change the voting process as it is now, how would you change it?
Yeah, so let me break this down. One, I don't like the idea of paper ballots anymore. I think they actually talked about this on ESPN last night. It's just not fair to like the teams that don't get any attendance because right, you go and pass them out at the games, and the Cubs who sell out every game are going to get a lot more than the Rays who don't sell out every game, so they're going to
Mm-hmm.
lose votes. The problem, at least online, gives everyone a fair shot. You just have to be motivated. So that
Mm-hmm.
tackles the first two. Three, the voting doesn't mean much to me. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really vote. Even as much as I love the Cubs, I don't vote. I will participate in like if there's a player in like the final five thing, I'll get
Yeah.
in that with like retweets and stuff because that's like for one spot. Chris Bryant was in that last year. He didn't get it, but like that's okay. Voting overall
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean much to me, especially the way it's been, and that's why the fourth part. I don't know if the voting is just the way to go for much longer. I think they got it right this year to an extent. It looks okay, but
Mm-hmm.
you just have to wonder if you can go back to the old ways of just picking the teams because that way the best players are gonna be you want for baseball is to showcase your best. You don't want to showcase someone who really doesn't deserve to be there just because he got a ton of votes. So I
Yeah.
don't know how to change it really because I think they've done it to the best of their ability. I don't know if voting will always be the right thing.
All right. Yeah, well, I've boycotted online voting because I love doing paper ballots. They
Mm-hmm.
were just a lot of fun when I went to games. It was one
Mm-hmm.
of the things I look forward to. That's just me specifically. I could literally just be like a 70-year-old dude inside of a 19-year-old's body, but who knows? Um, I do think that now online voting is, I think, so in my heart of hearts, I want it to be a mixture of both, but I know it's much better. Oh, jeez. I don't even know who's here.
We got a
Wait,
dog
give
alert.
me one second. Here, wait. We're going to stop this for the time being.
Okay.
Here, wait. Oh, wait, are they back? Okay. Sorry, my parents are home. We're going to stop that, and I'm going to have to start it again.
No problem. No problem.
Sorry, I was in the middle of the pod.
Go outside. Sorry.
No. You're fine. Yeah. My parents got home from doing groceries, so if you want to see my parents, are right here. Mom, this is Ryan.
Hello. Hi.
It's a little shout out for the YouTube. we can cut all this stuff out. All right. I'll try to start it over again. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
So like I said, in my heart of hearts, I would want a combination of the two, but I think that online voting is the way to go now.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I don't think, like you said, I don't really care until the final vote, because I actually have a funny story about that, and I'll try to keep it quick. So last year, Logan Morrison got into the final vote for the Rays.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I want to vote him in. I don't really think anyone's going to vote him in, but I'm going to try to vote as many times as physically possible. So in total, my goal was to single-handedly switch the vote, because there was an interactive map of the country. So like I could see my county and how the percentage was. So I was trying to single-handedly flip the percentage of votes in my county just for Logan Morrison. And I ended up voting over 7,000 times for him.
That is absolutely insane.
And I actually flipped the vote. So if you look at the map of like New Jersey, it just has like, it's like all Didi, and then there's like one small sliver that's Logan Morrison.
That is, I respect the hell out of that move.
Yeah, I actually, funny enough, the Rays quote tweeted, because I sent a pic of like, I like tallied every vote that I did just to make sure that I made made sure how many I had. So the Rays quote tweeted it, and then he ended up sending me a signed Evan Longoria baseball.
I think I remember this.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
It was a lot of fun, but it took a lot of work. It was a lot of just staring in front of a computer for a long period of time.
Yeah, people don't understand the hard work it takes to work on social media and blog.
No,
it's a hard environment. We risk our bodies.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Yeah, I how long did I edit that pod for last weekend? I edited that pod for like 5-6 hours. It's terrible.
Yeah, you were out there grinding. Like, whatever, an athlete plays a whole game, whatever. We're out here editing. And it's hot in these rooms sometimes. Like, people gotta understand that.
Yeah, no, it's a tough life. It's hard to cope. Sometimes I cry for a little bit, but I get through it. We all do sometimes. That's a little inside reporter's scoop. But okay, so we're gonna get on to the last question we have, and then I'll do the rest with Sean. So this is another question about the Braves, kind of. So when the Braves played the Orioles last weekend in Atlanta, there was a picture that I saw on Twitter where Manny Machado, Adam Jones, Jonathan Scope, and Nick Markakis all talked to each other and then shared a group hug in the outfield. So I don't know if that brought back any feels for you, because it brought back a lot of feels.
I wouldn't say it brought back any feels for me, because I never really pay attention to the Orioles. I do love seeing old teammates reconnect. So that's cool. Where I thought you were gonna go with this is Manny Machado is familiar with Nick Markakis. Adam Jones too are familiar with Nick Markakis, and all three would be valuable trade assets at the trade deadline. And if the Braves are still competitive, they're going to be looking for possibly one of Nick Markakis' former teammates to maybe come to Atlanta.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
not at all. Would not be surprised.
Yeah, I
would agree. I could definitely see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there are two segments which I'm not going to do this week with Sean or you, but tribute to the game show on the Impractical Sports Podcast. We're going to do a baseball trivia segment. I have 5 questions, but I'm going to try to split it up between you and Sean. So we're going to see how this goes. This is going to be I got some deep cuts on here. So just be aware.
That's not good. That's not good.
All right. So the first question, there was a graphic. I don't know if you saw a graphic that came out by Cut4 that showed the most amount of home runs hit by an opposing player at all of the current major league stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me which players were most represented on the graphic and how many times they appeared.
I mean, if we're going current players,
Or
I guess Albert
current slash like just retired or something like that. Like recent players.
Okay, so I mean, current. I would have to assume Albert Pujols is on there.
No, I mean he's on there, but he's not one of the. I think he's on there, but he's not one of like the most represented people.
Damn. Okay. It wouldn't be Mike Trout because is Mike Trout on there?
He's on there, but he only has one.
He only has one.
Has one stadium.
This is hard. I'm trying to think like who were the biggest like home.
Think of Fox Sports analysts for baseball.
Oh, Ortiz?
Yeah, Ortiz is on there. He has 3.
A-Rod? Is A-Rod on there?
Yep, he has 3. And then Yankees.
Yankees.
Current team.
But is it Judge?
No.
Who else hits home runs on that? It's not young. Oh, Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah. Yeah, Stanton, A-Rod, and Ortiz are tied with the most home runs in 3 different stadiums, which is crazy to think about.
That's crazy that Stanton, who has played so much less than them, is already tied with them.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's actually, I saw Willie Mays still holds the record for most opposing for the opposing player with the most home runs at Wrigley Field. He still holds it.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
He still holds it. All right,
because he didn't play in the division. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're gonna yo. No, that was back in. I mean, only National League teams played National League teams. There weren't as many back in the '60s.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you're gonna hate me for this. I don't know. So it's a 2-part question.
Okay.
As close as you can get. So I'm gonna say like within 500. What is the Marlins' current average attendance this year?
Oof. I'm gonna go like 7,200.
I mean, that was lower than what I thought, but no, that is not correct. The actual and then I'll do the second part later. But the actual current attendance, because I averaged today's game, is 10,018.
That's higher than how do you know how many their stadium holds?
30 something.
Okay, then yeah, that's awful. They're getting like a 30.
Yeah, no, it's really bad.
Yeah,
all right,
that is bad.
And then the second part to the question: what year and what team was, or like the last time that a team averaged less than 10,000 fans in a game? What year was it, and which team?
Oh man, can I get a hint?
Early 2000s team that doesn't exist anymore.
Huh?
I said early 2000s, so it was a team in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And it's a team that doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. Well then, is the Expos?
Yeah.
And year, I'll go 2001.
No, it was 2004. They averaged 9,369 fans a game.
No wonder they moved shortly thereafter.
Yeah, well, no, that was the year that they moved.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was their last year because the Nationals started in 2005. Yeah,
it was trash. And also, funny note about that, they played like 33 of those home games in Puerto Rico.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was bad for the Expos. See, I have just like a weird baseball knowledge.
That's like the thing about we need baseball back in Canada because the Blue Jays stadium is so crazy, but it's only like that when the Blue Jays are competing in the wild card or for a playoff spot. Like you go
That's
there
true.
now while they're like in the dumpster, they're not that good. Like, it's not that crazy there. So
Yeah, no,
really
no one cares about baseball. No one cares about baseball in Montreal. They care about hockey.
Yeah, hockey and croissants or whatever goes on.
I mean they're French, so croissants works.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. So last question, then I'll ask Sean the other two, and this is a current one. So hopefully you'll be okay with this. Who currently leads the MLB in doubles?
Oh, poop. Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna overthink. I'm just gonna go with like what the obvious answer would be. Is it Mike Trout?
No, it's in the AL, but it's not in the
Damn.
same division.
It's not in the same division.
No, so that knocks out 5 teams.
Is it Jose Ramirez?
No, it's in the same division though.
Okay, well,
Not the same team. So you knocked out not the same team. So there's 4 other teams that it could be.
Well, damn, all other teams in that division stink.
Yo, well, that's why it's surprising.
That is incredibly surprising. Is it? I don't even know many players in that.
Wait, do you want me to tell you the team? Maybe you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Give me the team. Give me the
Twins.
Team. Twins. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Is it Buxton?
No.
Is it Rosario?
No.
Is it I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that many other Twin players.
It's Eduardo Escobar.
Wow, I suck at MLB trivia.
He has 33 doubles
honestly,
so far.
That's like the crazy thing about baseball. It's like
it doesn't make sense.
In the NBA, your leading scorers and whatever are always on the best teams. In football, your leading players are always on the best teams. Baseball, you could have someone on the Twins leading the MLB in doubles.
That's true. I wasn't kidding. I like researched hard during work today. These
yeah, those were maybe like Noah prides himself on like coming up with good trivia questions. Those were the hardest trivia questions I've ever had to answer.
Yeah, no, those are tough. Here, wait, I'll give you the extra credit, and I'm going to do this with Sean too. So I told you about the Mariners. I think it's like 2 days away. They're having their 20th anniversary for their promotion, where they instead of turning back the clock, they turned ahead the clock, and they wore these futuristic uniforms. It ended up turning into an actual league-wide promotion during the next season, and I looked it up. So 22 of the 30 MLB teams participated in it. So there were 8 teams that did not participate in it. Can you guess as many of the 8 teams as possible?
Yeah. Okay. So Yankees?
Yes.
Cubs?
Yes.
Yeah, those 2 teams never changed their uniforms. That was am I like counting like Nationals? They weren't.
What?
Dude, I'm not counting like the Nationals because they weren't around, right? That doesn't work.
No. It was in 1999.
Okay. So Cubs, Yankees, Red Sox.
Red Sox participated.
Damn. Okay. Cubs, Yankees, Cardinals
participated. There is another team in the same. Actually, 2 more teams in the same division as the Cardinals and the Cubs.
Brewers.
No.
Okay, then the Astros were in that. Oh, the Reds.
Yeah, and
the Pirates.
No, you already said it.
Okay. That's right. The Astros were in the NL Central.
Yeah, but they also did not participate.
Okay, so 4.
So that's 4.
Cool.
So you have here. Wait, let me check. So you have one more team. Here, wait, 1, 2. Wait, so you got Astros, Dodgers, Cubs, Reds, Yankees. Okay, so you have 3 more. So 2 of the teams are in the AL and 1 team is in the NL.
Okay, the 1 team in the NL, I'm gonna go with the Giants.
No, not in that division.
Okay, then let me move over to the East. The Mets.
No,
they wouldn't do it.
No, they were the Mercury
Uh,
Mets. They changed their
oh,
name for the game.
that's interesting.
It was a weird time, 90s.
Uh, the Phillies,
No, Phillies participated.
Braves.
No,
All right. Well, and then the Marlins.
no,
Oh, they weren't even around.
no. They were around. It was 99.
Oh yeah, wait. Okay, well then who am I missing? It was the Expos.
Yeah, Expos did not participate, which is weird. But and then you
Okay.
have
Yeah.
and you have two more teams in the AL.
Um,
One
the
one team is in the
Indians.
same. Here, wait. What team? Angels?
Indians.
No, there. It's
Okay.
not a team in the Central. I'm like giving you all a hint, but I mean it is pretty tough.
Yeah. This is. If anyone's listened to me get the Angels.
No, there is one team in the West and one team in the East.
Okay. Well, I already said Mariners and Angels. Athletics.
No.
Rangers.
Yes. Okay, so
Okay.
Rangers, and then you have one more in the East.
Let me go. Orioles.
No.
Rays.
No, Rays participated. Their uniforms are sick.
Well, who's? I
So
said
you
Red Sox and Yankees already.
you have one team left remaining in the AL East.
Red Sox, Yankees, Rays, Orioles. Well, the Blue Jays weren't there. Oh yeah,
No, the
they
Blue
were.
Jays were there and they did not participate. So
Oh,
that's the
I,
8.
I'm gonna be honest. I knew the Mariners did their uniforms, but I never knew that the rest of the league did it.
Neither did I until I found it out on good old Wikipedia, because that's all Wikipedia is good for, is random tidbits of information.
Honestly, I'm excited to see these Mariners uniforms back in action.
Yeah, they're not exactly the same thing, but I mean they're pretty close and they look really nice.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah. All right. So we're done with that. That was an interesting segment. Well, and then we'll complete it. So I still have two more of those questions. So I guess the last thing. So we're gonna do two more things, me and Ryan. The first thing, it's a new segment that I'm gonna debut called the Sweet Sounds of Summer, and it's essentially about walk-up songs, because walk-up songs are a big staple in baseball. So if you have a few off the top of your head, uh, like one or two walk-up songs that you really like for players, past or present, just throw them out. If there's any context about it, feel free.
Uh, this is tough. I did like I don't know if he does it anymore. Starlin Castro when he was on the Cubs. I don't know what song he did, but it had like claps in it. And when he would come up, the entire stadium would like clap together, and it
Okay.
was so cool to see. So I love that one a lot. I guess I like Ben Zobrist that his wife sings. It's like about me. So
Oh,
I'll
that's
go with those
cute.
two.
Yo, legend Ben Zobrist, former Ray, the legend. Love that guy. He was a really, really great utility player and a great person. So, all right. So mine are God, because I have so many to think of. So I think the first one is going to be Kevin Franzen. It's the song. His walk up song was "Snow Hey O" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is a solid song. Love the Chili
Mhm.
Peppers. It's a good walk up song. Just a good standalone song. And then the next one. This is kind of weird because I remember it. Prince Fielder, when he was on the Rangers, at one time his walk up song was just a siren.
Mhm.
That was it. Just like a fire truck siren. It wasn't even a walk up song. It was literally just a siren.
I respect. I respect that.
It was a baller move. We may in post put some songs in there. Who knows? Who knows? We'll figure that out. I'll figure that out actually, because I need to figure out how to edit crap. But I think so. Me and Ryan are gonna end on the backyard baseball segment. So last time, to recap with me and Sean, Sean's story was that he pitched a 3 inning perfect game that got shortened because of lightning. and his team didn't score, but it was still a perfect game because the game got shortened and cut. And then mine was the infamous me missing the home run ball in Minnesota and getting absolutely destroyed by Torrey Hunter on TV and becoming a meme for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's hard to beat. Wait, can you clarify for me what am I?
So essentially, the segment is any baseball story that you have, either you playing baseball, you going to a game, watching a game, any
Okay,
baseball related story.
I'll get personal here. When I was like one of those guys who took baseball too seriously when I was little, like in rec league, and we are gonna change the game, and I was pitching, and I was having a rough inning, walking people, and I ended up walking a batter, and I was so mad, and I turned my back to home plate, and this kid stole home up from me, and I just like, lost it. It was the worst moment of my life ever. I was just devastated.
Oof. Did you guys win the game? Is the more important part of this?
We did end up coming back and winning. So
okay,
it ended well. It ended well.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's it. It doesn't. The only thing that matters is at the end of the game whether you won or lost.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so now I got to come up with my story. God, so many stories. Let me think. I think I'll do the other time that I got on TV, which wasn't as famous as the other, as me, as Minnesota, but it was spring training. I think like 2013. I went to it. Actually, the Phillies were playing the Twins. Funny enough, so everything circles back to Minnesota apparently. But our seats, we were sitting down the third base line, probably like 3 or 4 rows up from the field. It was in the later innings of the game. There was a couple, like a Minnesota Twins fans couple in front of me that got up, went to go get beer or something like that. And Odubel Herrera comes up, hits a line drive foul ball literally right at me. And when I mean right at me, I meant like I probably moved about 6 inches to actually catch the ball because it was coming in my direction. But he hit it so quickly that it was like I had a split second to react, and I ended up catching the ball. I looked back at the tape on because they, I guess, broadcasted the game on Comcast Sportsnet, now called NBC Sports Philly, RIP Comcast Sportsnet, sad times. But yeah, so like they showed me on the telecast for like 20 seconds catching the foul ball. That was it. It was pretty solid.
That is a good story. I like that.
Yeah, and the other part that was cool was my brother ended up helping me out with it, but I ended up eventually getting Herrera's signature on the sweet spot of the ball. So that's pretty cool. I got it in silver ink. It's in my room. Okay, so I think that we're going to end it here.
Yeah. So we'll go to Sean.
Yep. All right, we're good?
Yep. All right, so stop.
Woo. That went well.